This is the Bachmann EMD GP7 with DCC and Sound Value on board. Let's take a look and see if it's worth buying one for yourself. Hi, I'm HL Hobbyist and I am a model railroader. Let's get started. In August of last year, I decided I was going to buy the Reading Railroad a freight locomotive to go with their RDC that I had bought them in the beginning of summer. Well, it's January now, and I'm finally getting around to reviewing it. If this Jeep brings a lot to the table, it could set a new standard for value across the hobby. Let's take a look. Starting off with some statistics and figures, as I always do. I weighed this. It is 14.6 ounces. Its MSRP is $225. However, no place is charging you that much for it, and I paid $89 for it. It has knuckle couplers. They are the Bachmann Easy Mate couplers, and it runs on DCC with sound or DC with sound. So we're going to take a brief look at the packaging, and then we'll get started. So if you've been around my channel a while, for over a year, you'll notice that the majority of my locomotive reviews to date have been Bachmann, because there's been 3 reviews and 2 Bachmanns. So now it's going to be 75% Bachmann up to this point, so the unboxings are probably getting a little familiar and repetitive. To start, you've got the clear window on the box, and it says Bachmann DCC Sound Locomotive and their logo for that on the bottom. It says HL scale up here. Same old, and of course, you can see the locomotive in the inside. You got the label, which is, I assume, a manufacturer label. On top, it's boasting more features of the decoder or the power, and the back is an advertisement for Bachmann's DCC system. And on the bottom, you have the same features as advertised on the top. Nothing special there. Unfortunately, I've used this quite a few times, so the unboxing is nowhere near to the original, nor do I have the paperwork, but I remember what was included, so I can still tell you briefly. We're going to open and just slide the tray out. It's very firm the first time you take it out. Alright. Just toss the box to the side there. And here it is in all its glory. Open the cradle, and you have the locomotive. The cradle is very good at protecting the unit, and it is very good for storage as well. Included in the way of paperwork was a quick start guide and warranty information. So that is it for the unboxing. Now we're going to take a look at the detail and see how much you can expect. To start with the detail, we're going to work our way from left to right, which in the orientation I have it now is back to front. So we'll start here. I'm just using my finger, don't have an actual pointer. Guess we'll start at the back. There's no grab irons whatsoever. It's very smooth, which actually has a very nice classy look to it, but it's completely unrealistic from the prototype. So that is unrealistic, but this is basically what I saw when I was researching it for my own consideration. Was it as what people online said is it's good for a super detailing project, or if you're on a good tight budget. Moving down, it's got handrails, flexible but not bending, plastic, and then the paint is good. The paint doesn't appear to obstruct any detail. You've got the fuel, I forget what that's called, fuel emergency stop or something. And of course the fuel tank below. Standard EMD trucks, although it's hard to see due to the fact that they're black. The paint scheme is accurate for the Reading 623, not as delivered, but later on when I model. The horn is separately applied, and I don't know if the placement is the same for all the units, but it is definitely not accurate for this, because I noticed in photographs, horn was there. So it is not inaccurate for the reading, but I don't feel like changing it. Just keep that in mind if you're a rivet counter. If you're a rivet counter, you might want to go with something that's a little more detail-oriented. On the front, very similar to the back, you've got your headlight, number boards, which are not lit. And here you have, I forget what that's called too, but it does not fold down. The coupler lift bar, I think that's what it's called, does move. And you gotta get it the right way, but it will go up and down, but it always falls back down, it does not stay up. The windshield wipers are indeed present on this model. They might be separately applied. I think they're molded into the windows and then painted. Still look good nonetheless. On the side you have windows that do not slide. And that's about it for the detail here. Underbody, there's nothing to see. Just smooth black plastic. And they even painted their logo on there. But you have enough underbody detail to satisfy you as you're observing. Alright, so now I'm going to sound a little bit different because the microphone's in a different orientation. So we're going to enable track power here. And first thing it does is turn on the sounds. There's no startup sequence on Bachmann models. Pressing function 8 will just fade in and fade out the sounds. So, going through the functions, function 0 is the headlight, which I will show you in the lighting section. Function 1 is the bell. Function 2 is the long horn. It's a toggle. The horns included on this model are Leslie 8-125/200 combo, Nathan M3, and Nathan M5. I have the default enabled, although if you follow my Instagram you'll see I'm using the M3, but I switched it to the default for the review. So that was a grade crossing sequence using function 2 for the long horn, on and off, and function 3 for the short horn. Functions 4, 5, and 6 do not do anything. Function 7 will dim the headlight, and function 8 is mute and unmute. On some models, if there is no sound, the horn can still play. On Bachmann models, it is completely muted. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at the performance and the lights. Actually, we'll do lights first. Okay, so for the motor performance, I have broken this model in completely, and I have not modified the starting voltage. So we're going to make sure it's on forward. And we're going to, actually I'll turn it off so you can hear the motor noise. We're going to move it 1 speed step, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That doesn't sound great. I think the motor noise has gotten a bit worse. since I've bought it, so I'll probably have to lubricate it. So that was as slow as it went. Now here's it running the sound. So as you can see, it sounds good. And all in all, I think it's a good runner. So I will finally give you a run by and then a coupler check, and then we'll be good to go. Starting with the front coupler. Works perfect. Then we'll do the rear coupler. Works just fine. So in conclusion, I think this model is great for the price. It doesn't have any details really, besides the handrails, and the horn placement's wrong, but I think it's pretty good anyway. If you want a highly detailed GP7, consider a different brand's model. Many other brands have models of this locomotive, including but not limited to Walthers and Atlas. Atlas review coming out next week. Yes, and many of those have much more detail than this one. But, yeah. So, that's all I've got for you for today. Consider subscribing for more train content, and I'll see you down the HL Hobbyist main line. Bye!